Here's everything we ate and drank in Portland, Maine this weekend. Tan and I were only in Portland for like 2.5 days total, and we like to eat and drink new foods when we're on vacation. And Portland, Maine was for the foodies, so we were eating and drinking hard. But our very first stop of the trip was to Small's Cafe and Market, and I had their iced oat milk latte, which was to die for. And then we also ended up splitting their goat cheese ricotta tartine and their signature breakfast sandwich, and both of those were truly just fucking amazing. Like, I could have eaten 12 of those breakfast sandwiches by myself. Small's was also such a cute little stop because they have a full market in the back, so you could buy some drinks and snacks and little trinkets, and it was just so cute. Our next food stop of the day was to Luke's Lobster so Han could try their very first lobster roll, and a huge shout out to Luke's because they actually have gluten-free buns for their lobster rolls. And then we also got their signature blueberry lemonade, which was some of the best I've ever had. For dinner our first night, we went over to Batson River Brewing Company, and we had dinner with Matt and Mare, and the food and the vibes here were just so amazing. I love oysters so much, so I got half a dozen for myself, and they were mwah, chef's kiss, so freaking good. And then for dinner we ended up getting the black and haddock tacos, which were amazing. And then for dessert we ended up splitting the whoopie pie sampler, and it was so cool because it came with 4 different whoopie pie flavors. Right and early on day number 2, we started off our day with breakfast at Tandem, and this was highly recommended, and I fully understand why. We ended up splitting their savory biscuit, which had cream cheese and hot pepper jelly on it, and then we also got an iced oat milk latte, which was, once again, one of the best I've ever had. Like, the coffee scene in Portland was fucking unmatched. It was so good. We also split this beautiful piece of quiche that had like mushrooms and cheese and just so much goodness in it, and then not pictured was the sticky bun that we bought but didn't finish eating because we were so full. Our next food and drink stop of the day was to Ongi, which is this little like Asian market that has a cafe in the back, and I saw one of my favorite influencers post about this a couple weekends ago when she was in Portland, and we immediately added it to our itinerary, and this shit did not disappoint. We got an iced matcha with oat milk, and then we also split this matcha mochi, and I am usually not a matcha person. Like, I think it's fine, but it's not my favorite drink, but I'm a matcha bitch now because this shit was so amazing. Now, if you thought we didn't eat enough, our next stop was for a full brunch at this place called the Good Table in Cape Elizabeth. Got some brunch cocktails, and then I also got their sea salt coffee with mascarpone cream, and then for brunch I got the crab cake sandwich and a grilled avocado, both fucking amazing. Since I was on my oyster kick, I had Han find me a place where I can get oysters before dinner, so we went to this place called Hunt and Alpine, and I got half a dozen oysters, and Han got a little sampler of some cheese and bread, and then we got the most delicious dinner at this place called Leeward, and I feel like these videos are not gonna do it justice. We got some good cocktails and some of literally the most amazing food I have ever eaten in my life. For our final day in Portland, we started our day at this coffee shop called Salt Yard because it was recommended so many times to try their sea salt caramel latte, and I understand why. This coffee and then the coconut cold brew that we had, once again, some of the best coffees I have ever had. Like, I never knew Portland's coffee scene was popping like this. And because we loved Ongi so much, we went back on our last day for a strawberry matcha, just as good as the regular matcha. And then we finished out our food tour with a lobster roll from the Lobster Shack in Cape Elizabeth. Oh, and also whoopie pie, that was fucking amazing. Okay, love you, bye!